Shalom. And I'm going to start off bringing all the praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ulchach Chodesh. Double honors to my teachers, the head apostles, and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to you, Akim, that's out there listening. Push your foot this word with truth and sincerity, and your few Akwath as well, that's listening with sincerity. I'm the brother Machaya from the camp GMS Montreal, coming back with another lesson. And something I was meditating on today, I figured after the implementation I'll make a lesson on it, on the fact that as much as scripture says, as much that lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. Matter of fact, let's start with that. Okay, because as we're here out and about in the world, man, we have to be modeled citizens, because we're representing Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay, so there's a certain standard that has to be held up. Okay, where these people, they shouldn't have anything evil to say about you. They shouldn't have, like I said, they shouldn't have anything evil to say about you. Right? Talking shit, accusing. Well, if someone does accuse you, it will most likely be falsely, because how, your mannerisms, how you behave in the world, because eventually, in the times to come, we will be falsely accused. And the people that really know us, whether it's your coworkers, acquaintances, the stuff that they're going to see on the news and be like, no way, that's not him. I know him. I spoke to him. I know his character. He would never do that. Right? So let's read this. This is Romans 12 and verse 18. It says, if it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. Okay, if it's possible, as much that lieth in you, man, live peaceably with all men in quietness. Right? It said, if as much as lieth in you, if it's possible, because there's going to be certain things where it's out of your hands, where a certain altercation that's going to happen, whether it is you have to defend yourself because someone wants to put their hands on you, things of that nature, then that's a different story. Okay, as a man, you do have to defend yourself if someone comes and trying to violate your personal space or threatens your life. That's different. You're not going to say, oh, brother, I love you, like the Christians. It makes me think of this fucking Edomite that got smacked by a Jake. Nigga went on the ground on his knees saying, I love you. But he was talking shit before, Yeah, man. So, of course, with understanding, with wisdom, when it applies. Okay? But, as much as lieth in you, like scripture say, live peaceably with all men. Okay? Because when you're out and about in the world, man, people will test you, man. Because ultimately it's Satan coming on these people to try to test your patience, okay, to test your temper, right? And being in the truth, knowing your battlefield, knowing going out in the world, these things are going to happen. You got to learn how to control your spirit, okay? When you do that, a lot of problems will be avoided. Okay? Because a lot of the things that happen, altercations that people would get with another person, is because they don't have control over their spirit. Okay? The person says this, you feel the need to say that too, because your pride, your ego, you can't talk to me like that, I'm a man, you don't know who I am, how I was raised, this, that, the third. Who gives a fuck? This guy's a random guy, you don't know him. So, sometimes, man, it's best not to even respond to certain individuals, man, and just go on about your day. But let's get this. Rule over spirit. I think it's in Proverbs 19. Oh, 25. Okay. This is Proverbs 25 and verse 28. It says, he that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down without walls. See, so if you don't have control over your spirit, you're like a city that is broken down without walls, man. In other words, defenseless. That means Satan could come to you anytime he pleases and manipulate you to do something out of whack, to get out of character, to crash out. Because what? You have no rule over the spirit, man. Because you got to understand, these mortal flesh that we're in, these bodies, they're mere portals for these demons to enter in as they please and tempt you with certain thoughts. And then your job, especially being the truth, is what? To rebuke those thoughts. To rebuke those thoughts where, Satan is attacking your weak points, attacking your emotions. Because this person said this thing to you and it made you feel a particular way. Or this person looked at you a particular way, so you feel the need to, you know what I mean? Have a nigga moment. Like, come on, that's some worldly shit, man. We're spiritual men, okay? When we're out and about, man, we're analyzing people, reading spirit, okay? Whether your gift is, the Lord blessed you with reading spirits or not, you still gotta be having your scope on people, man. But that's not my gift, brother. I can't read spirits. No. Okay, we're in a battlefield, man. Hey, the scriptures say what? To walk circumspectly. Let's get that too, man. Okay? Doesn't matter if you don't have a gift of reading the spirit or not. You still got to know your environment. You still got to scope the scene and see where you're at, man. Okay? Knowing the people you're around. Knowing what to say around these people and what not to say, man. Because certain things that you say could lead you into trouble. Because these people, they're not trustworthy. Okay? There we go. This is Ephesians 5 and verse 15. It says, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. See, you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, man. Let's get that word circumspect. It's Ephesians 5 and verse 15. Let's get that in the Greek. Okay? You have to have your scope, man. You gotta be looking around. Alright? Okay, so this is the word in the Greek. It says akribos. Akribos. It says exactly, accurately, diligently. Strong's definition, it says exactly, circumspectly, diligently, perfect. Here it says to live carefully. You see that? Live carefully. Going into, as much as life and live peaceably with all men. Circumspectly, deviate in no respect of. Let's get to the etymology, because the etymology basically goes into, if I'm not mistaken, like you looking around. Bear with me. Okay, this is the word circumspect. Okay. And the etymology, it says cautious, wary, looking about on all sides. That's what I wanted. Looking about on all sides. In other words, knowing your environment, knowing where you're at. Okay? Especially being out and about in the world, man. You know? When we're out and about, man, if you don't work with a brother, or if you're not doing something with a brother, man, you're not around people that you could trust. That's why, once again, you have to be very mindful of the things that you say, how you move around these people, man, because they're agents of Satan, especially when you're in the workplace, man. Especially in the workplace, man. You gotta be in the P's and Q's, man. Because, let's say if you're talking to an individual and they're talking to you about another person behind their backs, best believe they're gonna do the same shit about you. They're gonna do the same shit about you, bro. That's why, once again, you gotta be very mindful what you say to people and what you do around people, man. Because trust me, if they're talking shit about another person behind their back to you, they're gonna do that about you, behind your back about you to another person, man. Which could lead to drama, cause headaches, could even cause you to lose your job. Yeah, man. Yo, because I remember a bitch did that to me once. When I was working, she was asking me my opinion about another worker. What do you think about her, this, that, And then my foolish self, well, I'm not foolish, but, in the moment, I was knowing the truth or whatever. Okay, I'm still knowing the truth. But, I revealed information. I gave her my point of view. Okay, I didn't fully spill my whole mind to her. I just said, blah, 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 whatever. And then something happened. And then the bitch said, oh, he said the same thing too. I was like, what the fuck? That's when I knew, bro. Yeah, I best keep my mouth quiet around these people, man. Okay, especially when it comes to them asking me opinions about another person, wanting me to talk shit behind the person's back, which I didn't even talk shit. I just kind of like agreed to what she was saying. I didn't even say anything. I really just agreed to what she was saying. I was like, yeah. And then a problem happened, and then she said, I said the same shit. Well, I didn't even say shit. I just agreed. But just giving you an example, how things could turn left, if you don't keep your mouth shut, man. If you're not being circumspect, okay, looking around, okay, being wary, being cautious, all right? Gotta be cautious, man. Because, these people, man, they're not trustworthy, okay? But, Salaki, let's continue. Back to Ephesians 5 and verse 16 now. It says, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Yeah, redeeming the time because the days are evil, man. Okay? Don't waste your time. Make sure you're doing something productive each and every day, all right? Towards serving the Lord, whether doing your lessons, reading, researching, watching the videos. You got to redeem your time, man. Buy back your time, okay? Because, hey, we're coming to the end, man. It's crunch time, baby. Okay? But I wanted to get this one, too, in Proverbs 19 about he that hath rule over his spirit. Proverbs 19, I think it's the last verse. No, let me see. I'm gonna have to search it up. Better take city. Oh, it's 16. Yeah, Proverbs 16 and verse 32. It says, he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that hath rule, and he that ruleth his own, and he that ruleth his spirit, than he that taketh the city. See, when you rule your spirit, you're better than a person that taketh the city. Because that person might take that city because he was in a rage fit, You know what I'm saying? We don't know how he took the city. Yeah, he's still strong in the sense, whatever, physically, militarily, but you having control over your temper, your emotions, man, you're better than that person, man. You know? And when you rule your spirit, once again, you avoid a lot of trouble. You avoid a lot of unnecessary altercations. Okay? When you learn to rule your spirit, you know, so like when you rule your spirit, that's when you really start to know what it means to take the low, man. You know? A lot of situations of the life, man, it's just, yo, let me take the low, man. You got it, man. In your mind, right? You know, a person might be arguing, I don't know, saying some nonsense. You know what? You got it. You got it, man. You know? Because, hey, us men of the Lord, man, we value peace, man. We don't want chaos. We don't really like arguments, man. You know, if you can't see the point of our point of view, or really the Lord's point of view, okay, it's cool, man. You got it. Okay? You got it, man. Okay, shalom. You know what I'm saying? You know, we're at the point that we're not gonna break our heads, waste our time, whether we're out here prophesying, we're out and about in the world. The person is arguing for no reason. I don't got time for this shit, man. You know, I got enough to deal with. You know what I'm saying? I got enough demons to deal with, man. I don't want to deal with you today. You know what I mean? That's how I really be, man. Okay, I'm getting close to my destination. I'm gonna get this last one here, which is one of my favorite precepts. Bear with me. Colossians 4 and verse 5. It says, walk in wisdom towards them that are without, redeeming the time. See, so you gotta walk with wisdom towards those that are without, man. And everybody in the world, if they're not in this truth, they are without wisdom, man. So you have to be the example, the model, how you ought to walk, how it is to be an Israelite, how it is to be a representative of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. You're the model, man. You know what I'm saying? So your talk, your walk, everything has to be, This guy, hey, he's a servant of the Lord, man. This guy, he's different from the rest of these people. That's how your demeanor, your conduct is supposed to be, man. Okay? It says, let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how he ought to answer every man. You see? So, having a little tact, a little sauce in your speech, man. Okay? Knowing who you're speaking to, right? Like Apostle Paul said, I became all things unto all men, to the barbarian, them that are without the law, them that are with the law. Just knowing who you're speaking to and things of that nature for it to work to your benefit. But anyways, man, I'm going to close it off there.